Hi guys, welcome back to another Hugh Jeffries video, and in this video we're going to be taking a look at this iPhone 6 16GB on iOS 11.2.5. I picked this up off of eBay for a total of $28.50, and in this video we're going to be restoring it to fully functional condition. Now I got this iPhone off the same seller on eBay I purchased my iPhone 5S on iOS 7, as well as that massive lot of iPhone parts I got for around $60 or $70. Taking it out of the bubble wrap, you can see that it's wrapped in this plastic. Removing the plastic, you can see the iPhone, and you can see that the battery there is not even stuck down to the device. So going ahead and taking off the display bracket, we're going to go ahead and test out this iPhone and see if it actually even functions. As it's missing significant amounts of parts, there was no photos of the device actually powered on, so I really had no idea what I was buying. I also had no clue on the iOS that this would be running, so I went ahead and connected up a test display as well as a test dock connector, and you can see here with that hello screen that is definitely iOS 11. Coming ahead and setting up the device, you can see it activated just fine without a SIM card. Now this phone is actually locked to NTT Dominico, or I believe that's how it's pronounced, which is a carrier in Japan. Either way, Apple changed their servers recently, which allows you to activate without a SIM card, so it's able to get past that setup screen with no issue, and it's running iOS 11.2.5. Connecting the iPhone up to my MacBook Pro, you can see that the battery health on this device is extremely low and is in desperate need of a replacement. Now I've ordered up my replacement parts, which include a fully assembled LCD and home button, as well as a new dock connector, battery, speaker, and some brackets that were missing from the device. Now I also had to use some iPhone screws that I had in my parts collection just to be able to reassemble the device as it's missing screws, as well as I purchased this iPhone 6 bracket slash small parts kit off eBay, which allows me to replace some of the missing parts which go down near the dock connector, which will secure the microphone. There's a bracket for that, and there's also a retaining clip as well so the microphone doesn't come unplugged. Now you can buy replacement screw kits on eBay, but the only problem is you can't actually tell where the screws go, so it's a little bit of a guessing game, and in the end you can actually damage your phone. If you put the screw in the wrong spot, you can damage the board and result in a dead iPhone. Now I can go ahead and test out these screws that I found in my collection. I went ahead and made sure that they weren't too long, so it was just a bit of trial and error, but once I got there I was able to just go ahead and reassemble the iPhone as you would normally. Now the last piece of the puzzle was the Vibrate Motor for this device. Now I did order one on eBay and it was due for delivery either Thursday or Friday, but as of making this video it hadn't arrived, so what I had to do was actually go out and purchase another iPhone 6 to use the Vibrate Motor from. So after reassembling this, I picked up this iPhone 6, unknown gigabyte at the moment, running an unknown version of iOS that all it does is flash the Apple logo and then turn off again. I picked this up for 20 bucks locally, and basically this is going to be a parts phone. The LCD is good on it, so I might be able to use that on a different iPhone. If I had have purchased this before, I would have just used this display on that gold iPhone, but as I've already got a new display that will be going right on there. You can see here that the previous repairer has done a terrible job at repairing this device. There is missing brackets, there is half screwed on brackets, the battery is not even glued in, and it looks like the old battery was pried up with significant force. But either way, I was able to get the Vibrate Motor and install it in my gold iPhone 6. Moving along, I can go ahead and install the home button into this iPhone screen. Now this isn't the original home button, so we won't be able to have Touch ID, as Apple is the only one that's able to pair a Touch ID sensor to the device. You can't do that yourself, so if you replace the button you'll get home button functionality, but you won't get that Touch ID on the iPhone 6. I also went ahead and installed all the new parts just loosely to make sure the device is still functional, and after testing it I go ahead and disconnect the screen and battery, and then we can go ahead and glue the battery into the device. Now these battery adhesive tabs are extremely strong, so if you are pulling up an old battery you've got to be careful not to snap them, as they are a pain to get out if you do break them. Either way, installing them is really easy. Just go ahead and glue them on there and then sit the battery in, line it up properly and press it down. Now with the battery installed, we can go ahead and reinstall the new LCD Now I opted for this aftermarket display over the usual refurbished ones I use, same manufacturer and all, but the only difference why I chose this one is it's pre-assembled with the camera, earpiece, home button was included as well, so it made my job a lot easier considering of all the missing parts from the display. If I were to buy them individually and then have to try and find screws for them, it was just easier to buy it this way and have it already pre-assembled. It's also a great way if you are new to repairing iPhones, you don't want to have to try and do any more work than you really have to. Then if you buy a pre-assembled LCD, all you need to go ahead and do is transfer that home button so you can keep your Touch ID and then basically install it just fine. So after installing the new screen and making sure everything was screwed back in and installed, I go ahead and seal up the device and screw in the 2 pentalobe screws on the bottom. Powering the device back on, you can see that it's now fully functional and has all the parts in it, as well as all of its screws reinstalled. You can see that it's running iOS 11.2.5 and is a 16GB iPhone 6. The next step is to remove the plastic screen protector on the new screen and install a tempered glass screen protector, which I do on all of my iPhones without any cracked or damaged displays. So this is it, the $28.50 iPhone 6 restoration. We took a iPhone 6 16GB gold on iOS 11.2.5 that was missing a significant amount of parts, brackets and screws, and refurbished and restored this thing into fully functional condition. I spent a total of $66.50, that includes the iPhone and all the parts used. Now if I had to purchase that other iPhone 6 for $20, the total repair cost would have only cost me around $40, but I will be using those parts on that custom purple iPhone 6 video, which will be coming out soon, so stick around for that. And on that note, this has been a Hugh Jeffries video. If you like what you saw, hit that subscribe button and consider checking out the iPhone restoration playlist for more videos like this one. Also make sure you follow my social media, link will be in the description. That's all for this video, and I'll catch you guys next time.